Today is Monday, April 13th, 2015. This is in reference to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times, and it's called, "It Takes a Party." Now, for the Republicans, they would probably like the title of this article to be, "We're going to party like it's 1999. And what Dr. Krugman is talking about is that now that Hillary Clinton has thrown her hat into the ring, that we're going to have a tremendous amount of crap that's going out there for the next 18 months. He does not relish the next 18 months in the political arena. And I would say, hey man, if you don't like it, then there's Bar Rescue, there's Velocity, there's Bering Sea Gold. You know, what are those cops are still on? Okay, but so for the next 18 months, there's going to be a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of political people out there talking a lot about personalities and not about the political issues, and they're not even going to really touch the main points of the political issues in terms of what the candidates actually stand for. And one of the references to that was George W. Bush from 2000, where he would go about and there would be the reference, well, you know, it really doesn't make any difference which one of them you elect because they're both basically the same. And George Bush, he'd be the kind of guy that you could sit down and have a beer with, even though he stopped drinking because he had a severe alcohol problem about 15 years before that. When did he stop? He was 40, so that would have been about 1987, 1986, something like that. So he had stopped a number of years before that because it was causing him problems. And not only did he say he was a compassionate conservative, but what was the other? I can't remember. But the compassionate conservative struck me as such a thing because it's a true oxymoron. Because the way the Republicans act, they really aren't compassionate in any way, shape, or form. And if you read the party platform, they're way, way off. Now, Dr. Krugman not only says that was going on back then, but that's what they're going to talk about now, is try and make it about personalities. Hillary's old, Hillary's dyeing her hair, Hillary's a hag, she's got these liver marks on her hands, so she must have cancer. God knows what would happen if she ever showed some cleavage, or if she actually wore real pearls or something like that, some type of necklace. So it's all going to be about personalities, and it's not necessarily going to be about the type of substance that goes on. You know, right now, according to Dr. Krugman, and I fully agree with him, that there just cannot be a greater divide in terms of what's going on in terms of political parties than right now. And whoever the party nominates, whichever party, the Republican or Democrat, they are going to have to toe the line. And what are the big issues right now? Well, I mentioned a thing a while back, is that I don't think that a Republican, and God, I would be stunned if it happened, but at the same time, it would show that I don't know shit if it happened. But I really don't think that a Republican can win the election being a climate change denialist, being against gay marriage, and being against the minimum wage. Now, like I said, I could be wrong. A lot of things can happen between now and then. But remember, what the Democrats will be looking for is to maintain and increase Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. And the Republicans will be looking to decrease them. In fact, one of them, they want to make a voucher system. You know, they'll also want to have a tremendous amount of tax cuts for the wealthy, because they would say that we don't need to increase the minimum wage. When we cut taxes for the wealthy, that'll help bring up, you know, the stuff at the bottom, where there's Democrats will say, you know, it doesn't make any difference how many tax cuts you give anybody. It's not going to raise the minimum wage. It's got to be raised on our own. So there is a huge divide. And there is still a war against women, which with the Republicans will counter never exists, even though they're against the Lilly Ledbetter Act, even though they're against equal pay for equal work, and what's the other one? The Employee Non-Discrimination Act. So blah blah. And of course, you know, they want to be libertarian about everything. They want government out of your lives, but they want to tell a woman what she can do with her womb at all times. You But they'll have some problems with that. But they'll try and mitigate that. They'll try and not, indicate that that's not really an issue, that they really care about women, that they want to help women. But they won't come up with that. The Republicans will not come up with any policy whatsoever in terms of how they can really help women. Excuse me. They will come up with some policies, but they won't really help them in any way, shape, or form. And one of the reasons, Dr. Krugman points out that one of the reasons why this is going on is there is a tremendous difference in terms of wealth that's going on in the country. The rich are so much richer and the poor are so much poorer. And what the wealthy have done is that they've instituted and helped and had a lot of political allies getting laws written to protect their wealth. And one of the ways to help protect their wealth is they got to take away things that are going to the poor and the less fortunate. That's why we see that Social Security is going to be attacked, Medicaid is going to be attacked, Medicare is going to be attacked. No need to have any environmental regulations. We need to let the full force of the marketplace. They'll take care of things. They'll be able to take care of all of the CO2 emissions, et cetera, et cetera. So for the next 18 months, it's going to be all personality, all about Hillary. I mean, if she limps one day, she's ready to have a stroke. And then on the Republican side, the critical thinking right now is that they will probably end up getting a moderate because they have to appeal towards the middle, which will be possibly either Bush and possibly Rubio. At least they seem to be the more moderate of the 10 or 12 other ones that are out there. But the thing is, they're going to have all kinds of code words. They're going to have to be talking out of the side of their mouth. All of the pundits are going to have to be saying that they really didn't say that that's what they mean. Don't worry, when we get into office, wink, wink, nod, nod, which is what Jeb's brother did back in the day. Because as soon as he came in, he didn't even have 1/10 of 1% or about it that, but he acted like he had a fucking mandate all over the place to wreak havoc on everything. So it's all going to be about personalities. It's all going to be about code words by the Republicans. It's all going to be about what a terrible person Hillary is. And all of the issues, the true issues, are not really going to be addressed. And it's very, very sad because if you really look, again, at the Republican platform, less environmental regulation, climate science denial, no need to raise the minimum wage. We got to get these people off Social Security, off Medicaid, off Medicare. We need to, they're swinging in some hammock and they're just cashing that check every month because they're on the dole, which is all crap because most people who actually get services from the United States because they are poor, basically are working. So that's the way it is. And then I always like to point out that I remember when Billy O'Reilly came on the air a while back and he talked about all the people are users because they're getting free stuff from the government. And again, I would say there's a guy that's making $10 million a year. He's probably got a huge house that has a tax deduction for the mortgage interest tax deduction. And I'm sure he has a Cadillac plan from his company in terms of medical, which they get a tax deduction for. So you see, they just want to do it to the poor. They don't want to do it to anyone else. And Dr. Krugman is right to point out, we need to keep away from the personality aspect of it all. And remember, what I remember in spiritual circles is that it's not, it's principles and not personalities.